All right, ladies, if you come across your mat and grab yourself a prop like this. I've got myself 2 blankets that I've rolled up to make a nice sausage like so. So it's a bit smaller than a normal bolster. A big beach towel would be ideal. And first of all, we're going to put this underneath the pelvis just to raise the pelvis up a little bit. So come and lie down on your side and then lift the pelvis up. Now, be mindful with your shoulders, okay? So I want you to, before you just kind of settle here and the shoulders drift up towards your ears, lift and roll one shoulder, draw it right down your back so your neck stretches. Drop the hand down for a moment. Lift and roll the other shoulder, slide the shoulder down your back. So your chin is drawn in. You'll find your ribs flare a little bit. Allow them just to sink down into the ground here so that we have a nice bit of pressure from the base of the rib cage right up through to the shoulders and a bit of a stretch through the back of the neck. So I'm going to get you to kind of replicate all the rushing and the doing, the going, the sympathetic nervous system enhancing, all tabs on state. And we're going to rinse it out and start letting ourselves unfurl into that parasympathetic nervous system. So just give yourself a little warm up through the pelvis first. Knee up towards your armpits. This is my right knee here. And immobilize the ankle. Slide the other leg away from you until you start to feel a decent stretch here in the psoas muscles. So it doesn't matter if you can't go all the way. Just keep the knee bent if that's the case. If you happen to have another pillow nearby, slide it underneath your thigh. Other arm starts to lift up and over. And just noticing if the shoulder feels congested. You might need to put a pillow underneath your arm here so that you create a nice stretch through these pectoral muscles. And if it's comfortable to do so, lengthening fingers and toes apart. Start to take a deep breath in through the back of the nostrils. Wriggle the jaw as you release the breath. And then taking both knees up, gentle stretch outwards. Inner thigh stretch, mobilizing the ankles here. That's away one direction and the other direction. There we go. So a little bit of a lift through the pelvis with your prop. And then keep that left knee up, sliding the right leg away, pausing when you start to feel the hip flexor stretch. You might let the thigh drop a little bit more and then take the arm up and overhead. Again, if the shoulder feels congested, slide something underneath your arm so your arm is supported. And then we pull the fingers and toes apart. We breathe in deeply. And then with a nice loose jaw, just go sinking, releasing. Do that again. Stretch and Now, both knees up again. I'm going to get you to start to do opposite knee, opposite arm up. So you need to breathe out as you change. Breathe out as you change. Having your pelvis lifted slightly is just going to take this out of your lower back if you're not feeling particularly core strong tonight. The main thing is I'm just going to get you to imagine you are running away from danger and blowing out puffy, quick breaths to keep the diaphragm high. All the rushing and the doing, getting a bit of blood pumping into legs. Puff, 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 puff. Tummy button down towards spine. Puff, 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 puff. And now take your arms and legs up towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath in. Sigh the breath out. Let your shoulders drop down into the ground. So the weight of your arms sinking down into the sockets. And then just with closed fists here, start to jiggle your wrists and start to jiggle your feet. And I want you to try and jiggle your thighs and jiggle your back wings. Let your jaw go. Make a bit of noise, low vibrational noise. So this is the shaking, like an animal shakes after it has had trauma. And you think about the constant tabs open, metaphorically and literally. And the little micro traumas that all of those deadlines, those emails, those things, those missed things you haven't done. And I need you just to shake it out and make a bit of noise like this. So we're taking control of the automatic nervous system, but it is not just automatic, we can control it. So we're trying to take ourselves out of that sympathetic state and into the parasympathetic state. Jiggle, and then flop. And if it feels comfortable, feet right wide, knees in towards each other, and maybe elbows up like so, so you're cactusing your arms. Close the eyes and see if you can tap into that feeling of tingling prana, life force, flying around your body now. Moving from the rushing and the doing into this moment in time, into the simply being in your body. Allowing the mind to start to soften. And to do that, let your eyeballs become really heavy in the eye sockets and let the space between your eyebrows become very relaxed, very soft. Imagine you're having a facial and someone's just massaging around the eye sockets. So the little muscles around your eyes become really relaxed. Your cheeks gently softening and your lower jaw releasing, softening. Really silk-like, soft breath now, almost like you are an open window and the breath is just like a breeze, floating in and out, just enjoying this feeling of peace. I'm going to get you to take your prop and slide it up underneath where your bra strap is. You might have to do a little bit of adjusting here. So now we're starting to open up the diaphragm more and the intercostal muscles between the ribs to start to get us to breathe more fully, more diaphragmatically, more expansively, using all of our lung capacity. So do what you need to do with the arms. If it's comfortable, arms up here, you might need to prop your arms. If that feels too congested, just out to the side here. We're lifting up the ribs, and I want you to really focus on breathing outwards as if you have got gills like a fish. And you want to fill your lungs with breath, and then at the top of that breath, see if you can fill them up just a little bit more. So a double breath in. And then just let the breath go until there's no puff left. And then a double breath in again. Hold the top of the breath, and then let it go. So you're breathing right out to the sides. Hold the top of that double breath. If the knees want to drop out to the side, let them drop out to the side. Bit of sound as you release the breath. Good. Now draw yourself over to one side and then come onto your tummy with your prop underneath your ribs here. So your forearms on the ground, coming into Sphinx pose, but just kind of resting on your prop. And now we're focusing on the back of the lungs, down here. So tops of the feet into the ground, quite wide with your feet. Push the tops of the feet into the ground so there's a little bit of a sucking sensation through your knees. Try not to squeeze your bum muscles. It doesn't matter if you're lower, like so, that feels much better, come down. We just want a very gentle slope through the spine. And chin is drawn in, back of the head feels like it's pressing against a wall. Yeah, so you're getting a little bit of a sensation of pressure here. And then breathing down here, expanding down and out. You want to scrape the bottom of your lungs with your breath. So we have endorphin receptors at the bottom of the lungs. So when you breathe deeply and fully, you just start to feel better. And when you start to feel better, your thought patterns start to spiral upwards. And it's like this whole energy shift upwards. So it starts with the breathing, starts with the connection with the breath in the body. Full breath. You might want to do a double breath in just to really expand the lungs. Sigh the breath out. And as you expand the lungs backwards, see if you can pull down and back with your forearms to send the chest slightly forward. Yeah. Hands on your prop. Push yourself back into an extended child pose with your wrists slightly lifted. Toes towards each other, knees wide. So we're getting a lovely stretch through the inner thighs. Send your bum back. Now, if you have congestion around your shoulders, really wide hands, and you might want to lift your thumbs and little fingers rolling down. So we create this external rotation of the shoulders away from your ears. Stretching the spine. Imagine your tail is being pulled in one direction. Your fingertips are being pulled in the other direction, creating traction and space between the vertebrae. Again, breathing into the lower lobes of the back of the lungs. So you might find your body wanting to pulse up towards the ceiling and then down. So there's a little ripple through the body. And then slide your hands to the left. So right hand comes up to the left side of that blanket. Left hand goes off the mat over to the left further. Stretching down. So we now get a deep lateral stretch down the right side of the body. Thumb up, little finger pressing into the blanket. Use your breath to open the muscle fibers. And then walking your fingertips up and over so the right hand comes off your blanket. Left hand sliding up and out. So visualize the space between the ribs, yeah? So the intercostal muscles, and like you're fanning your ribs out to the side as you breathe. We're creating more space in the lungs, more capacity. Very good. And then I'm just going to get you to come up a little bit closer. Elbows on your blanket, hands together as if you're praying. Bum stays in the sky. Chest drops down. Forehead might just rest on your blanket. So hands straight up towards the ceiling. Armpits facing the ground, stretching into both the armpits and also the thoracic spine, right along the bra strap. Sitting bones wide. Sigh the breath out, make a bit of noise. Soften the muscles of your face. So be very conscious of softening the face and noticing how the rest of the body responds. Lovely. Just coming onto your forearms, shoulders, give them a roll. And then I want to get you to roll your pelvis. So big circles with the pelvis. Releasing, 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 massaging around. So we often do this when we're standing. Really nice to do it when you're on all fours as well. Let your shoulders massage around. Let your torso massage around. Unwinding, unwinding. One direction, other direction now. Now, the more you can hum and the longer you can make your exhalation in a humming sound, the better. So if you feel comfortable humming, and you don't need to make any tension around your jaw, so we want the opposite of that, but a soft vibrational hum as you breathe out is one of those really quick fire ways to drop out of the head and into the body. Now, I know when I hum, you can't hear anything on Zoom, so I am humming, but you just can't hear me. Good, and then coming up onto hands and knees together. It can be quite nice just to have the wrists on supported and fingers dropping off. So see how that feels. Knees together. Drop the hips to one side. So you're right down that IT band. Quite a bit of pressure through the wrist. So also nice to have a bit of padding underneath the wrist for this. And then tummy back into spine, open over to the other side, draping the pelvis down. Oh. So if you've been doing lots of sitting, this can be really tight and grippy. And then send your right sitting bone down towards about, what's that, about 4, 5 o'clock on the clock face. And then send the left hand out to about 11 o'clock on the clock face. So you get this stretch right across the body. Breathe in and then softening down. Horseshoe your bottom from side to side. And then leave your left sitting bone dropping down to about 8 o'clock and right hand stretching to about 2 o'clock. Wonderful. I'm going to get you just to sit for a moment with sitting bones on your prop. And first of all, taking hands behind you, lifting up from your waist. So you kind of pull yourself up, shoulders down and back, feet out in front of you. And then just dropping the knees from side to side like so. So we're getting this lovely rotation. We're going internally with the knees. So we're adducting. If you're in the habit of slightly turning your toes out like I do when you stand, so a little bit penguin, then this can be a really, really nice release. Try doing a bit of pressure down through the inside of your knee, not too much, but it gets into this really long muscle called the sartorius muscle that connects from the inside of the knee and goes right up into the hip. Like so. Whoa. That's the way. And then slide that right foot out. Keep the left foot into your groin. Come and sit so that you feel your pelvis is lifted enough that you can slightly roll forward. Yeah, so you can see if I didn't have the bolster, the prop, I might round, but I want you to lift up out of the waist, slightly roll forward, so you also get more of a thigh stretch here. So you're lifted, rib cage up away from pelvis, a little bit of feeling of this is all being switched on slightly. And then take your fingertips onto the side of your head here, drop the elbow down towards your knee, and then breathe in and take the elbow back, just a little bit to start off with, and then down. So we breathe in, conscious breath in to the twist and down. Breathing in, maybe a tiny bit further back and down. Breathing in and down. Now, if this feels fine on your shoulders, keep doing this. If it feels like you could go further, unfurl the arm. And just notice that extension right through to the fingertips, and then take the hand down and swirl backwards. So it's almost like you're painting with your fingertips. Make it quite fluid, ribbon-like with your arm flowing backwards. Inhaling for the expansion, for the extension. Exhaling for the retraction, for the release. Okay. Next time you paint your fingertips backwards, leave it there, turn your head away from those fingertips. Lengthening right out through fingers And then looking down towards the other foot. Oh, shoulders sliding down your back. So imagine you have fishing weights at the base of your shoulders. Those fishing weights are just making your shoulders slide down your back. Yeah, so it's amazing, isn't it? When you just pay a little bit of attention, like just then I was like, didn't realize I was there, sliding down. Oh. Good, let's do one more of those. Down, up, oh, and down. Roll the shoulders, slide it down. Roll the shoulders, slide it down. We'll do a lateral stretch, so straight up towards the ceiling. Up and over now. Take it back. And then up and over. And take it back. And one more, up and over. Hold. Good. And now, again, we're looking at the ribs flaring outside. We're increasing the lung capacity. Breathing. Shoulders still sliding down your back, so we're not here. We're here. Now leave your head tipped over to the side. Slowly take your fingertips down towards the ground. Pause as soon as you start to feel that stretch here in the scalings. Every time you sigh the breath out, you might drop your fingertips just a tiny bit. Breathe in for the stretch, breathe out for the fingers might go down a tiny bit more. Breathing in, little bit by little bit, we're letting those muscle fibers soften with the breath. Very good. Drop the head, roll the head, just half circle. And then slowly place it on top of your neck. See how that feels. And we're going to swap to the other side. As you swap to the other side, just placing that right ankle in front of the left ankle and pivoting from the hip joints forward. So you might not come forward very far. Might have fingertips here or here, keeping the back pretty straight, coming forward until you feel that hip stretch. So your feet are not in a normal cross-legged, they're just one ankle in front of the other. And when you feel that hip stretch, breathing into the lower lobes of the back of your lungs, so flare the lungs backwards on the breath in, and the exhalation softens. You can come forward a tiny bit more. Breathing in, expanding through the back. Soften the jaw as you breathe out, soften the face. Good. Now scoop through the heart center upwards, so float upwards through the heart. Come back to sitting. This time the left leg out. And that inner thigh. And same thing, starting off with fingertips on the side of your head, dropping the elbow, and then opening. Noticing if this side feels better, more congested. It's a deep full breath in and a release. And see if you can do it slowly, fluidly, and be really in tune with every little movement, every little sound in your body as the breath fills the body, orchestrates the movement. You feel your body responding, expanding, opening. Now maybe taking the hand along the journey just to increase that stretch and that twist, mobilizing the thoracic spine. So this is incredibly important for our heart health, to keep the mobility through this mid-back area, through our shoulders. Reach in slightly different directions. Lovely. This time, I'm just going to get you to hold your fingertips back and up right through to the phalanges. I love that word, phalanges, the ends of your fingertips. And then turn your head down. Good. And then just slowly, it will come straight into a lateral stretch. So just bring your head so that it comes up and over with the arm, flowing back. And then again, up and over. Oh, a bit further this side. And down. And up and over. That's it, holding here. Lateral stretch. Rearrange your shoulder. See how your neck is feeling. Slowly take the hand down. Pause as soon as you feel a little bit of scaling stretch into your neck. Breathe in, soften out. Maybe close the eyes so you can really feel your breath facilitating the neck area starting to open and soften. Please do not push anything. Just allow with your breath. It's very, very different from pushing. Resting right on that edge and then just pulling back from the edge. You're dropping the head down and half circle and down and half circle and then down and then slowly rolling your head back up. Ooh. And then placing the left ankle in front of the right ankle. Again, winding forward from the hip joint. This time, allow your head, if it feels okay, allow your head to become heavy. So a little bit of a deeper stretch into the hips. Shoulders stay away from your ears. Keep focusing on the lower lobes of the back of your lungs. So you feel like you're filling up the creases in your back. And then scoop through the heart center and draw yourself up. Before we come and animate a little bit, I'm going to get you to do a pranayama practice, so breath practice, which I like because it's super quick. So I'm going to get you to lift and drop one shoulder at a time so that we can sit in a really nicely lifted up posture. Draw the chin back to give yourself a double chin. I always like to imagine I've got a string from the back of the head or a mother cat's picked me up by the scruff of the neck to create that long extension through the cervical spine. And for this practice, you can do it when you're walking. You can just do it when you're sitting. And I've discovered it only takes like 3 breaths out to work. You breathe in deeply and then you say, for the full extension of the exhalation, you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. So you count to 10 as many times as you can out loud. And once the puff is almost gone, you whisper or you just mouth 1, 2, 3, 4 until there's literally no puff left in you whatsoever, nothing. And then you take a couple of regular, smooth, soft, silk-like breaths. And then you take another deep breath in and you do it again. So we'll do that 3 times. You'll be different from me, so don't worry if you get out of rhythm with me. So take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're increasing our carbon dioxide load. Take another deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one, breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just noticing the quality of your mind. We've just done 3 really extended exhalations. Quite like that version because it just gives your mind something to focus on. And just notice how relaxed you feel now. So it's a really great way to take us out of the head. When we are revving, constant on, we are creating lots of cortisol and adrenaline, and our adrenal glands can't then produce progesterone and estrogen. So in order to become more hormonally balanced, doing little practices like that, active rest practices, can be super, super helpful. So I'm just going to do some release work around the jaw and the neck for carry. So first of all, while you're just sitting here nice and aligned, take your thumb and your forefinger, coming up a bit closer so you can see me. And I'm just going to go along the jaw here, okay? So really loosening the jaw. So start at the chin and just massage here around the chin. And then you're going to look really gormless. Start to pull outwards, right into the masseter muscles here. And you want to pinch and get blood flow around this area. And just notice if you are a habitual jaw clencher. If you are, this is going to be quite painful. Get a bit of blood flow. Pinchy, pinchy, pinch, like that. Good. And then, as if you're unwinding screws, take your fingers here and just unwind right on the masseter muscle, the jaw muscle, right in there. Get in there with your fingertips and unwinding motion. And see if you can add that low sounding tone. Go hum. Breathing in through the back of your nostrils, full breath in. Hum. I'm going to need you to take your thumb and put it underneath your cheekbone, right to the pterygoids there. So try to find the bit that's right up near your ear and fingertips on your skull, right there and there. And you need to move your jaw from side to side, like that a bit, and you get right up there. And if you suffer from tension headaches, often this is exactly where they start from. So do little unwinding circles with your thumbs backwards. Again, you're imagining you're unwinding screws have just got too tight. And maybe close your eyes so you can really focus on getting into that pterygoid muscle, that tight muscle. Sometimes dentists will do this with their gloved hand inside your mouth to help you get rid of tension. And if you push right upwards, you can feel the pain going up into your head. So this is exactly where the tension headaches can originate from. Remembering jiggling, vibration. This is our friend. Low vibrational toning is our friend. Good. So then lastly, I'm going to get you to take your fingers and take them onto, first of all, the top of your clavicles, so the bones here, chin in, and then as you breathe in, as you pull down slightly on the skin, you draw the chin upwards. So we're stretching the front of our neck. And if you've been at your computer all day and you've had your head poking forward, this can feel fabulous. So the chin drops down, fingertips on top of the clavicles. You're pushing kind of down across the clavicle bone as you lift your chin upwards. Just do 3 of those ones, and then take the fingertips just below the clavicles here. Same action, just pulling slightly down. So right on the breastbone. Oh, that's it. Down. And then up. Fabulous. Give you lift your shoulders and slide them down your back. Now take your right arm out in front of you, straight, and then cross it. Lock it into place with the other arm. Keep the shoulders down, so just careful they don't start creeping out. Start to pull out with the extended arm, pull gently in with the blocking arm, the locking arm. So you get this feeling of stretch here. If your shoulders are here, it won't work, so you just drop down. Create that stretch on the outside of your shoulder, and then a little bit of a tilt with your neck as well. Neck heading over towards the fingertip side, not that side. Breathe in deeply, sigh the breath out. And then open up the arms, shoulders are down, little circles backwards. We want to stretch the pectoral muscles, activate the upper back muscles. So not here, not down here. Little circles. That's it. And then sliding the other arm across, locking it into place, pulling out with the extended arm, in with the blocking arm. And then again, lifting up. So lift the neck away from the shoulders. So you can see us went like that. And then slightly over towards the fingers. Again, close the eyes for a moment. And as you exhale, just feel your muscle fibers softening, dropping, releasing. Beautiful. Now, if you've got a strap, grab your strap. If you don't have a strap, you're just going to do this without them. But if you've got a strap, it's quite nice to use a belt. You could use your towel, actually. If you haven't got anything else, use your towel and just hold it between your arms like that. So there's a bit you're pulling on your prop. Shoulders are nice and wide, and you can see I'm not here, I'm down here. And then you're mobilizing the whole upper body. So you're keeping a bit of tension between the hands. And you are rolling the whole torso around, like so. So you get a bit of massaging through the pelvis as well, one direction and then the other direction. Beautiful. Leave the left elbow up and take the right arm down. So just kind of flossing, and then up and to the other side. I should just drop a little bit further. And again, dropping. And dropping. Lovely. Up and forward. Drop the shoulders. Give yourself a twist. And a twist. Oh, good blood flow. Well done. Come back onto your mat. Hopefully your shoulders feel a little bit looser now. Give yourself a stretch out. Right hand first of all. Sliding your chest down towards the ground. Shoulder rolling away from your ears. Let's see how it feels on that shoulder now. And then do the same thing on the left side. So we're going to come into a pigeon pose via down dog, via a bit of cat and cow. So hands directly underneath the shoulders, tucking toes, lift the tail, exhale to round. Use your exhalation now. So we're really emphasizing exhalation as we come towards the end of the practice. Inhale, smaller. Exhale, much longer, accompanied with the closing movements of the body. So as we breathe out, we squeeze the breath out, round, we close inwards, getting ourselves ready to sleep. Next time you take your tail up, Pause and then exhale, stretching your tail back and up. Shoulders rolling away from edge. You're pushing down and out with your hands. So nice wide hands. You can even turn your fingertips out slightly so there's no congestion around your shoulders and your ears. Lift and stretch the body. Maybe pressing the heels down one at a time. Maybe dancing with the knees across the midline of the body. This is just going to help if you get cramping in the night. It's a really good idea to do some down dogs before you go to bed. Now, do the horse kind of noise on your exhalation. So, whatever we call that noise. Give your cheeks a nice wobble. Make a nice long exhalation. Like so. Now, we're going to take this right foot and we're going to take it up towards the left side of the mat. So walk your feet into the middle of your mat. Take your right foot out behind you. And see if you can bring it up and over to the left side of your mat. Right knee dropping sort of to the right side of your mat. It doesn't matter if it's not precise at all. You need your blanket so you can slide it underneath that bottom. And you might need more blanket. You might need to fold it up again. Because what we want is for the back of our pelvis to be flat, straight across. So we're not falling off to one side or the other. If it's okay on your pelvis, you slide that foot back in the middle of the mat. And then we kind of fold ourselves down. Now, for some people, pigeon pose is not going to happen. Yeah, so you literally, your hip bone joints do not work like that. In which case, if that's you, come into a zigzag like so, and we'll fold forward. That still is a fabulous stretch into the hips. But if pigeon is semi-accessible, let's have a go, because it's a great one for sitting in discomfort and using our breath to release and release and release. If you can come down, do come down. If you've got a bolster you can put underneath your forearms, use the bolster. Nice to have your forehead resting on something. So bolster, stacked fists, maybe down onto the ground if you're a bit more mobile tonight. And then it's a tiny jiggle across the pelvis. Just a jiggle, jiggle, jiggle with your hips wriggling from side to side. Little jiggle going up the torso into the shoulders. Cheeks nice and relaxed. And see if you can hum out here. So that buzzy bee breath. Allowing the pelvis to melt. So this is very much using your breathing, your breath, the sound of your breath, a little jiggling to take the center of the tension around that head and dissipate it through the whole of your body. So you're working with that little point of tension and you're softening it with your whole body, with your breath, with your mind. Drawing yourself up slowly, like so. Give yourself a puff through your pigeon chest. Tuck your back toe. Slowly take yourself back into that down dog. You're going to need to walk your dog a bit. Give those hips a release. Now give yourself a bit of noise on the exhalation. Well done. And let's do the other side. So take your feet together. Take the left foot up and over to the right side. Just move that blanket so that you've got space to create your pigeon shape. Propping your left hip as much as you need to. And then just kind of wriggle your way down. And once you're here, flow up and down a few times. And then arriving wherever you need to go. So if you have got a bolster, it's quite nice to rest on your bolster. Ah. A gentle jiggle. Well done. So last thing, just coming down onto your tummy, sliding down onto your belly. And we just want to open the hip flexors and the quadriceps. So lower back grumpiness can be often alleviated just by giving the front of your legs and your pelvis a bit of a stretch. So if it's not comfortable to roll your shoulders back and grab both ankles and press the pubic bone down, do one side at a time. So forehead, resting, pressing the pubic bone down. As you know, I love adding a fuzzy bee breath here as well. So it's a pubic bone pressing down. Do a few breaths out on one side and then the other side. If you're doing both, we're not worried so much about bow pose, but pressing the pubic bone down, stretching into those quadriceps. Make sure shoulders are lifted and rolling back. You're not just pulling your shoulders back. You'll get so much more space if you roll to the back of the shoulder sockets. And you might find you just want to lift a little bit, not a big bow, just a little bit to give yourself a bit of activation through the back of the body as you stretch into those hip flexors and quadriceps. And then rest it down and just pressing pubic bone down, stretching those quads. And then drop the feet, stack one hand on top of the other underneath your forehead, toes in, heels out. You'll notice what happens if your heels are in and your toes are out. You feel quite congested around the sacrum. Toes in, heels out. Suddenly there's lots of space. Now wriggle your bottom from side to side so your belly gets a massage. Forehead rested, chin tucked in, shoulders right down away from your ears. And again, low vibrational sounds, humming, or just going hum. Good. Wonderful, ladies. Fantastic. If you've got a bolster, roll onto your back and take the bolster underneath your feet. If you don't have a bolster, don't worry about it. Just take your feet on the ground, arms out to the side. Drop the knees from side to side. So give yourself that wide leg twist. Oh, that feels good. And it's up to you to either drop the knees down and just give yourself a block with the palms facing out, or if you're somebody who loves a bit of lifted pelvis action, the supported bridge, or maybe even Viparita Krani, legs either up, or if you've got a wall close by, putting the legs up the wall, then go into the pose that you feel called for, just for the next 5 minutes as we integrate the practice and rest. So get yourself comfortable, get yourself warm. And once you're in your pose, take 3 changing breaths. So it's just an inhalation And a sigh out. An inhalation. And one more. Like you're just transitioning into stillness. And consciously taking the mind's eye underneath the skin surface and starting from the very crown of your head, allow your awareness to filter down through your body, down through the skull and the jaw and the neck and the shoulders, the chest, the arms, the torso, fingers and pelvis, bum, thighs, knees, calves, shins, ankle, feet. And just allow your awareness to flow up and down, almost with your breath, like a wave just flowing up and down. And just noticing where your awareness is drawn to. There might be parts of the body that still feel quite congested, almost bruised with residual tension. And if that's the case, just allow your awareness to swirl around those parts, imagining your breath, your soft ripple of breath is just massaging into any areas, and there could be multiple areas at the same time. Just letting your body soften, unwind. And notice if you can allow the body to become heavier and heavier, the feeling of sinking and surrendering into relaxation. And just practice now being completely still. Practice holding yourself still by simply being so relaxed that no movement occurs. So let there be no holding anywhere in your body and no physical movement. And start to draw your mind's eye now down through to your pelvic organs, the whole pelvic area, your hips, lower back, pelvic floor. And focus these next few breaths on your exhalation, just focusing on the softening effect of the exhalation, and release your jaw with each exhalation. So it's a conscious releasing of the jaw and releasing of the pelvis, the heaviness through the jaw and through the pelvis. Feel a corresponding heaviness through the underside of your tongue. So the jaw, whole mouth area, and the pelvic area are deeply fascially connected. So relaxing both really deeply now as you focus on this long exhalation, letting that prana, that life force flow. Letting the whole body sink even more deeply into the floor. And being comforted that at this time, everything's okay. Nothing else matters right now. And as you relax, your body is deeply nourished at a cellular level. Because in this conscious rest, we are integrating the practice and we are healing. So just allow your awareness now to travel from the pelvis through the rest of the body, up and down on a journey of sensation. Feeling down to your feet. Feeling the feet warm with relaxation, slight tingling sensation. Drawing your attention up through relaxed calves, knees, legs, back into the hip joints, across the lower back, up and down either side of your back, up around the shoulders, and then down the arms through elbows and forearms and wrists, back of the hands and fingertips and palms of the hands, drawing sensation, vibration, awareness, up and back through to the chest and the belly, right up through the neck, through the head to the very crown of your head, and then just beyond the crown of your head, to that point just above the head, the 8th chakra. Imagine a warmth here, a feeling like the lid is opened, and your mind is merging with the space above you. And start to feel lighter in your body as you focus on your inhalation now. Start to feel that connection through the crown of your head with the space around you. Start to feel the coolness of the breath, invigorating. Focus on the inhalation flowing down to fingers and toes. A little wriggle, a little bit of movement through fingers and toes. Gently moving the head from side to side. And then being aware of the water content of the body, just like seaweed, very, very slowly flowing through the ocean. Just start to move little bit by little bit, until you feel the body wanting to roll over to one side. And once you have rolled to one side, just pause there in the fetal position. This is very symbolic. Every time we come out of a practice, we go from that fetal position and we push the floor away and we fluidly come and sit up, knowing that what we've just done has literally changed the cells of the body a little bit. We are kind of renewed. So come and sit and find that sweet spot where the head is right on top of the neck. There's no holding. And do what you need to do with your shoulders to slide them into a position where it feels like that the back of the sockets. The chest is open. And there's space between your ears and your shoulders. Just notice how relaxed you've made your jaw, your tongue, muscles around your eyes. And then taking the hands together at the heart center, just pressing the thumbs into the heart center. So acknowledge you acknowledge yourself, the tapas, the effort, the positive action coming and practicing your unwinding, replenishing yoga practice. Knowing that by showing up, every time you show up in any way that is taking you forward in life, it is part of this Ishvara Pranadhara, where we start to merge the little self with a little s, with the big self, something that is bigger than ourselves. The love and light in me bows to the love and the light in you. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.